for you guys Virgos to remember.
We also got an Aquarius writing in saying that their biggest fear was having someone that I can't crush down with words somehow. So, yeah, that's a really full-on thing to write in, but really cool. And I'm sure a lot of Aquariuses felt similarly, that their biggest fear is not being able to destroy someone with their kind of detached personality. Another one from a Capricorn, their biggest fear is death, just death. So that seems to be the only failure that a Capricorn would entertain in their mind is possible for them because they're so hardworking and driven and ambitious that they don't really fail or have fears. They probably see fears as these weird human-like traits that some people have. Like it's not really relevant. Like it doesn't help you. It's not useful. It doesn't help you get to where you want to be in life. So the only fear is just death because they can't really avoid that.
The ultimate failure, the end of life. Scorpios literally just wrote betrayal and being lied to over and over again. Betrayal. Wow. It's almost a parody how much they actually fear that because they feel everything so intensely. They just can't imagine the pain of betrayal. And they really give you their uncompromised love and trust. And then if you break that, you're fucked for life.
Yeah.
A Gemini wrote, I don't have any fears. And I think it's just, Geminis either don't have any fears or have all the fears.
Yeah, I don't think this person's really engaged with the topic very well.
But also, Geminis. I love the Geminis' responses because they all just were so random. Like there were so many Geminis that were like, I'm scared of like being decapitated, or I'm scared of global warming, or like all these just
didn't make sense
all across the board, just like fears and random.
So exhausting.
A lot of Libras wrote fears that have to do with love and being alone, or specifically this one, dying alone.
And Librans, it's the star sign of partnership. So that kind of makes sense, and ruled by Venus. So they're very romantic and they love to be in partnership and to connect in that way. That's true. Makes sense.
We have the Sagittarians that were very fearful of commitment or anything that tied them down. And we spoke about it on this podcast. Sagittarians love their freedom. They love, being able to do whatever the fuck they want. And that's a very common fear. Aries, a lot of Aries, the common thread in their fears was to not have the upper hand. So either loving someone that doesn't love you back or loving more than the other person. Very competitive sign. But also they have a lot to give. So I think Aries just get over that fear and jump in. And the last fear that we have is Taurus.
So we had a Taurus write into us and say that fear is failure and being single for the rest of my life. Taurus, I feel you. I'm not one of you, but I feel you. Again, Taurus, similarly to Librans, are ruled by Venus, but they're also an earth sign. So they love stability and feeling like when they come home, they know that dinner's on the table, their partner's there, their partner that they've locked up with chains and whips to make sure they never leave the house.
They're still there.
They're still there. Alive. Exactly. They're alive. They're being fed.
The food is great.
The food is great. The house looks immaculate. So, yeah, that's a big fear.
Oh, and we also have Cancer. And Cancer's fear is being alone forever. The wording of this fear is very like forever. It's very like detrimental. Being alone.
And a Cancerian, like when they say they fear being alone forever, I think the forever is an abstract term for any amount of time when they feel alone, which is often. So if you see a Cancerian and then you leave and you don't see them for the next 10 minutes, that is forever for them.
Yes.
And you're in their bad books and they are unloved and this will never end.
No, and they will remind you of that moment 10 years from now.
Exactly.
So there's plenty more fears. We shared a lot of them. It's really cool to see. If you want to go to our Instagram, to our highlights, it's simply called Fears. So you'll find it.
I just want to say a big thank you to everyone for participating because it made me feel comfortable about who I am and my fears and, appreciating that. And another thing which has been so critical on that journey of gratitude and feeling just like it's okay to be a bit fucked up in life is Ariana Grande's new single, which is just unbelievable. I'm a bit late to the party. I don't think it's that new anymore.
Still relevant.
It's still relevant, and I'm blown away.
Thank you. Next. What an inspiration this woman is. I know we've been speaking about Ariana Grande on our podcast for quite a while now. Even though my one and only is Britney Spears, I do recognize that Ariana Grande is the voice of the new generation.
Even though my one and only is Riri, she's kind of not really doing music at the moment. She's doing lingerie and makeup. But yes.
And Ariana Grande just keeps on delivering songs about love and about heartbreak and anxiety and being proud of yourself and who you are. And it's just amazing. Thank You Next is literally, she's taking everything that's been said about her in the media and she's telling her own narrative, which is so rare for artists to go back. Like, there's very few songs that are just taking the narrative and making it your own. And it's really hard to listen to Ariana Grande's song and not compare it to yourself. So when she says like, one taught me love, she's basically talking about her exes and she's saying, one taught me love, one taught me patience, one taught me pain. And I'm like, looking back at my exes, I'm like, one gave me insomnia, one gave me self-doubt, one gave me promising myself I'll never love again. So, but I do listen to her lyrics and I'm like, you know what? If you can do it, I can too.
I'm actually a bit speechless when thinking about this song because me, like so many others, looks at Ariana Grande and thinks, oh, just another pop singer. But when I looked deeply into this song and looked at the lyrics and what she's talking about, I just felt so convinced that this is a woman in the driver's seat taking her narrative. And I'm sure she similarly had insomnia and anxiety and heartbreak and thought, I will never love again, just like that Cancerian that wrote in about their fears of dying alone. I am sure Ariana has felt that, but she's just laying this really lighthearted, poppy track over her fears and just bringing some joy to it. And it's really, I was trying to think of if there's any other heartbreak songs that have a similar narrative, but most of the ones that I could think of, like Strong Enough or I Will Survive, they talk about, heartbreak and being destroyed and knowing that you will live to see another day. But very rarely does a song put this genuine, fun gratitude for the pain, looking at pain and saying, I'm actually happy about that. And also she looks at some of her exes and she goes, I laugh at that now, which we've all been there as well.
And we've been talking about exes on our X's and O's episode, and we were actually exploring that idea of what we learned from our exes. So I don't know if Ariana is listening to this podcast. Maybe we were the original inspiration for this song. If we were, I'm very honored.
And I want to also highlight the fact that Ariana Grande has spoken often publicly about her battles with anxiety. Also, the media has just been following her breakup with Pete Davidson and waiting for her to have a breakdown and kind of thinking, she's going to get completely mucked up from this love. It's only a matter of time. She's so young. They fell head over heels in love and it's all going to be destroyed soon. But she has broken up with him. They're not going to get married. And she's taking this song and saying, I'm grateful for that next.
That's, I think, the strongest, most powerful part of the song when she's like, thank you, like legit thank you, gratitude, but also next period.
It's such a modern song. I love it. I love it. I've also, I guess it's been a bit of a couple of weeks, it's been a rough interesting Venus retrograde. But I've been inspired as well by a lot of pop singers who are similarly taking whatever's going on in their lives and transforming it into absolute pop gold. And, you're hitting the clubs and you're just like bopping along. And then you're not realizing that you're listening to these stories of pain and heartbreak that have been transformed into something positive. So Robyn's new album as well, please go and have a listen to it. It's called Honey. It's the first album that she's released, I think, in 8 years. Robyn is a bit close to my heart because she's also a Gemini.
And she's a bit close to my heart because she's the girl that says, you want a piece of me on the Piece of Me song.
There you go, which is an amazing poetic line. Her album as well, she went through like a real sad phase because her musical partner passed away from cancer and she broke up with her lover and then she got back and she's just like hit the studio hard. It's an amazing pop album. Go and listen to it and listen to Ariana Grande.
Again, this is not sponsored.
No, they're not sponsored. This is helping me get out of the bed in the morning. It's so good. So good. And also, I can't talk about powerful celebrities who own their shit without mentioning my dearly beloved Demi Lovato. Itai, thank you for introducing me to her, because I just thought, who's Demi Lovato? She's just this Disney gal, running around making songs, but she as well. Wow, she's been through some shit.
I know, and that's what people miss out on pop music, because people just classify it as this meaningless thing you hear in the club, but actually, as Britney said in one of her interviews in 2005, we are people too, and we need respect. And they write about their feelings and they write about their experiences, and this shit sells. Like, people connect to it. People know this is a shared experience.
Like, tell me one person that couldn't relate to Demi Lovato's song "Daddy Issues."
I know, I can.
Looking for all the wrong qualities that all the things you didn't get from your father in your, messed up on again, off again relationship with a metaphorical daddy.
Oh my God, don't get me started. That's for another episode. Well, this has been a good transformative week/month.
Yes.
With Scorpio ruling and Venus retrograding, but I feel unlike other months, there is room for change and for growth.
Yeah.
So go listen to Thank You Next and say to whatever it is in your life that you need to thank you, next. Yeah. No capital letters, because that's not cool. The coolest thing today is writing everything with lowercase. So just so you know. We're going to listen to our audience.
Yeah, so we're really excited to announce, kind of, that we are planning a live episode in the coming months. The time and date and venue is to be confirmed, but we'd love to hear what you'd like to see from such an event. Don't worry if you're overseas. We know we've got a couple of listeners in Chile and Perugia, Finland, Austria. We love you all. And biggest of shout outs to you all. We will be live streaming this event, and we will make sure that it's available to everyone and anybody in the world. To the friends in Melbourne, some of you don't listen to this podcast, but I hope you can also come. But we will let you know if you have any ideas or anything that you'd like to see from such an event in the next few months. Let us know, because we just started planning. We just wanted to do a little teaser to say that something's in the pipelines.
And we are 27 episodes in, and we never asked you guys to rate, review, and subscribe, because I find it personally annoying when people do that.
It's very demanding.
And we're not people that like to be demanded of anything.
Yeah.
So you don't have to. But if you want to, apparently it's good for the algorithm.
Yeah.
So go ahead and do that if you want to, and only if you want to. You're also more than welcome to follow us on the Instagram of @Astrology Roast, on the app Instagram, and we'll see you next time.